Here at Cranfield, we always like to see the bigger picture. As an exclusively postgraduate university, we take learning to new heights in technology and management. We award over 5% of the UK's engineering and technology PhDs every year. 81% of our research is classed as world-leading. Our academics find solutions to global challenges. Our graduates leave ready to launch into high-flying careers. That's why we rank in the UK top 5 for both commercial research and professional development. The bigger the question posed, the more innovative the solution required. That means collaboration between the brightest minds from academia and from industry, working together. Everything we do is in partnership, whether it's with individuals, business, government, or industry. Those connections create opportunity. The opportunity to innovate. The opportunity to create. The opportunity to make a real impact. Our influence springs from the same bedrock that supports all our activities. Groundbreaking research applied in a practical way to global problems. It's our signature approach to learning that allows our people to make their mark, to build the kind of careers they want, and to become part of an alumni network which extends right around the world. So many brilliant minds in such close proximity creates a powerful flow of knowledge. Ideas are the currency our learners trade in. Our graduates are shining lights in leading thinking and policy making across the globe. Here at Cranfield, we like to aim high across technology and management. Our work reveals new horizons, and we create the leaders to get there.
Hello, good evening or morning, everyone, depending on which time zone are you now. Hoping out you all stay safe and well. Today, AECC Global Indonesia, proud showcasing one of the prestigious MBA program from Cranfield University, which located in UK. And today we have our speaker with us, Chris Saudella. She's Senior Marketing Manager, MBA and DBA program from Cranfield University. How are you, Chris?
I'm good, thank you. And thank you for everybody to join us today. Good evening and good morning, if anybody's placed somewhere else. And thank you, Victor, for this opportunity to speak to this wonderful candidate.
Okay, awesome. So we also have Lee Quen. She is the Regional Manager of Southeast Asia from Cranfield University. How are you, Lee?
Good, thank you. Good afternoon.
Is it good morning or good evening from your time zone now?
It's good evening from my side.
Okay, awesome. So as I said earlier, that will be showcasing a program of MBA program from Cranfield University. So I think without further ado, please welcome and let us hear further on the details program and campus overview from Cranfield University. Chris, Lee, over to you.
Thank you very much. And once again, thank you very much for joining us today. My name, as you've heard, is Chris Saudella. I am not only the Senior Marketing Manager responsible for marketing and recruitment of the MBA and DBA programs at Cranfield, but I'm also an alumna of the School of Management, and I've also just finished my executive MBA at Cranfield, so I have some direct insights on what the program is going to do, what it's like to study at Cranfield. So I hope later on, when you'll be able to ask some questions, please do ask me from my personal experience of what it's like to study there. So the importance of today is to really make sure that by the end of this presentation, you'll get a very good idea of what makes the Cranfield MBA, why study at Cranfield University, and a little bit about the School of Management as well. And also to find out what we look for when we select our students to join the MBA. So the School of Management is a very unique school, and so is Cranfield. We are one of the very few in the world to be a postgraduate only School of Management. And also within the university, there are also schools that specialize in science, technology, and engineering. We have a unique approach to delivering our programs and developing our programs because we were founded in 1946, which was a truly unique time for the UK because we were coming out of a war, as so were many countries. And the unique mandate for the government gave to Cranfield was to build a university that would allow our students to then return to industry and help to rebuild the UK economy. Because of this approach, we've always engaged with industry, and you will hear us talk time and time again. And as you saw from the initial video, all our programs are developed in collaboration with industry, who advise us on the type of information, the type of skills that are required for our students to succeed following their programs. We are well renowned for our expertise in leadership development. And as I've mentioned and used here time again, we still have maintained this approach. So our industry links are very, very powerful. And we call it a real world focus, which means is we are concentrating on what is happening in our environment, what is happening in the world of industry, and what are the challenges that managers throughout the world are facing, so that we are able to fill into our programs the knowledge and skills that are required for our students to be able to tackle this program. So if we look at Cranfield University, we have over 1,500 businesses that we work with as for consultancy and to deliver our programs to their executives in over 40 countries every year. We are joined every year by over 2,800 managers that come from many different parts of the world to learn on our programs. As I mentioned, the School of Management is a treble accredited program, and there's only a handful of schools around the world that have triple accreditation, from AACSB, which is an American accreditation body, AMBA, which is a UK accreditation body, and also we have a professional network of 69,000 alumni. There are some quotes from recent alumni that they finished the program, and I'm sure you might want to circulate the slides following this presentation. Please let me know if you want to do that. I'm happy to share them. And I believe we're going to go to another video now.
This phase in the 21st century is a time of incredibly rapid change, particularly in technology, and we're also having to assimilate and analyse and deal with huge volumes of data. The role of education in helping people to do that, both in their personal and professional lives, has never been more critical. We focus on the managerial journey. We are continuously updating our courses and our offerings to respond to new business needs. Our Masters in Management, which is ranked #1 in the UK, and that's for early career managers, through to our MBA and our Executive MBA for high flyers. We also have one of the widest selections of short courses in Europe, and our Centre for Customised Executive Development, which is ranked #1 in the world for international reach. I think our background in engineering and applied science has always influenced the School of Management to be very interested in practical, hands-on solutions to managerial issues. And our work on entrepreneurship has helped to provide a real boost to success stories such as Cobra Beer, Hôtel Chocolat and Moonpig. Recently, we won a European Foundation Gold Award for our work with BG Group developing executives at this global oil and gas business.
Cranfield are excellent at collaborating because they're not coming in with a pre-designed idea of what you need. From the very initial contact that we had with Cranfield, they've really understood our context, they've really got to know us as a business. And then as a result of that, we've been able to design something together that isn't available. They really do tailor and customise the learning to the needs of the business.
We are very proud of our extensive and very successful alumni network. Not only do they help our graduates with networking contacts, with job offers, with placements, they also help our current students with contacts, with scholarships and with coaching and advice.
My Cranfield experience started in 1997. I went to Cranfield because it had a reputation for being extremely practical and valuing people who had experience. There were people from all over the world, from different backgrounds, ways of thinking about situations or people or projects, models that you could quickly use and apply to demystify things. I was really pleased I made the choice.
Our focus is on developing the all-round person. It's not just about knowledge, it's about the skills and the abilities and the behaviours to apply that in practice.
Awesome. Chris, before we proceed with your next slide, so I have a curiosity about, earlier you mentioned about this triple crown accreditation. What is exactly this implication when someone is choosing the MBA program? And as you said earlier, that you are also the alumni of Cranfield University. So can you elaborate that?
I'm very happy to elaborate, and it's a great question. As you know, there are some differences between accreditations and rankings. So an accreditation means that the accreditation body comes to Cranfield, speaks to students, meets with faculty, reviews the facilities, reviews our financial position, reviews how the program is taught, and also the content of the program. So an accreditation means that everything around the business schools and the School of Management in this case is analyzed and reviewed. And if they're happy with what they find, they give their stamp of approval. So whilst rankings look at a specific aspect of a program, an accreditation reviews the whole infrastructure and also gets personal feedback and is able to assess not only the quality of the delivery, the quality of the facilities, but also the quality of the program and the teaching faculty. So it's really important to have treble accreditation because it means that we are satisfying multiple standards at international level that say the Cranfield MBA and Cranfield School of Management is a quality institution.
Okay, so meaning that, to conclude, it is essential for someone is now considering to pursue the MBA degree when they're choosing a specific university, right?
Absolutely, because you know that everything related to your program has been assessed, and it's been qualified, and it's received a quality standard. That's really, really important because sometimes, as I said, rankings only look at a certain part of the program. This reviews the whole school.
Okay, all right. Carry on to your next slide, please.
Yes, of course. So what's really important here is everybody, as we know, does an MBA program for different reasons. A lot of the people that I meet are people that are halfway through their career, they are beginning to be managers, and they can see that they're finding themselves to be stretched by the fact that they want to move forward their career, but perhaps they have a very technical background. They haven't managed large teams, and therefore they want to do an MBA to have an opportunity to develop their general management skills, to learn how to lead large teams, to be more strategic in their roles, develop partnerships within the organization, understand the competitions better, for example. These are the skills and knowledge that is required for them to accelerate their career. Alternatively, there are people that have started their journey in a very specific industry, and now they find themselves that actually they've discovered their passion is somewhere else. So they want to once again come to do an MBA program because they know that the general management knowledge and the wide industry knowledge and exposure they're going to get is going to allow them to make a career change. So to go from one industry, for example, into another, or from a different function, to be honest, going from an engineering into marketing, or the other way around. So the idea is to allow people to make different career changes. Another reason why a lot of our students are coming to do a Cranfield MBA, and we've seen that actually quite a lot more now that we have faced the pandemic, there are a lot of people that have ambitions to start their own business. And therefore, they come to Cranfield because they know that we have some core modules, not only in entrepreneurship, but that the general management skills and knowledge they're going to gain are going to allow them to not only launch their business and get the support from the school, but also to make sure that once they launch their business, the business is going to be successful. I believe we have another video ready for you now.
I think the Cranfield MBA will set you apart because it forces you to concentrate on who you are, how you manage people in different contexts.
I lived and breathed the MBA for a full year, uninterrupted, and it was the best year of my life.
There's just so much going on. Competitions, conferences, speaker events. Cranfield is somewhere where you can really push your boundaries.
What we tend to have in most organizations is a lot of managers but very little leadership. Cranfield offered me an opportunity to learn leadership.
I don't have to be known as an entrepreneur or an innovator or anything else, but I want to be known as a leader, and this is the place to do it.
Full-time MBA students come with very different motivations, but we solidly believe if you don't understand who you are and you can't manage people, how can you be a successful leader in this world?
I think Cranfield program is somehow more people-oriented. I think it's built in a way to make you discover more about yourself, know your strengths, know your weaknesses.
To me, the transformation is phenomenal. Through self-assessment, feedback from executive coaches, from faculty, from the class, they understand who they are and where they want to go.
Cranfield puts you under pressure so that you cannot do things on your own. You would need to depend on your team to be able to deliver. And that for me is leadership.
On the MBA, it's very much theory into action, or knowledge into action, as we call it at Cranfield. You will cover the latest thinking in the various management subjects, but then straight away apply it through case studies, taking part in competitions at Cranfield as well as abroad, and inviting subject experts to share their war stories with the students.
All of our lecturers are working in industry, so the case studies that we discuss are up to date. They give real life examples of companies that they're working with.
Our MBAs have substantial experience in their areas, but on top of that, they come from very diverse backgrounds in terms of nationality, industries they're in. So there's a lot of learning that's happening in the classroom through the diversity and the experience that exists among the cohort?
Well, it's my first time to work in such a diversified environment, and I find it amazing. We have people from 25 different countries. I think it makes you more flexible and more open-minded to change.
We educate managers or future leaders. So for us, it's vital that they understand the theory, but then they can immediately apply it and understand the nuances that come with it.
When I came to Cranfield, I discovered that my aspiration was really very narrow. Now I have a much more holistic view in terms of what my future aspirations are.
I've been able to focus on finding my areas of strength and then using that to determine how I want to progress in my career.
I've got more to give, and there's more opportunity out there that I can grab, but I need the tools to do it. And the MBA is going to do that for me.
Okay, so interesting point of view from the video itself. So I think slowly we now feed it by the information given from your presentation, and simultaneously we also get an insight coming from the video, which actually showcasing the experience coming from the students. So before we proceed, Chris and Lee, we already have a question coming from our viewers in YouTube. We're going to show that question. Okay, so hi, my name is Fadli. I'm from Padang, West Sumatra, work at one of the state-owned banks in Indonesia, Bank Rakyat Indonesia, that's one of the biggest banks in Indonesia. The company has a scholarship program for its selected employees to take an MBA program in the UK. For this year's program, I have the opportunity to be chosen to get the grant. Okay, congratulations, Fadli. I hope to attend the MBA program at Cranfield School of Management as my destination because I recently received the scholarship announcement. I'm aware that the timeline is challenging for me to join the next fall intake program. I read on your webpage that I need to fulfill the GMAT score requirement, which I never learned before. Meanwhile, the preparation time and the test centers availability are minimal in my region, Padang. Nowadays, thus I want to know more about the school GMAT waiver. So maybe you can take on that. This will be related with the entry requirement, I assume, which mentioning about GMAT. Over to you, Chris and Leigh.
Yes, so first of all, I wanted to say that because of the fact that obviously the pandemic and the GMAT test does not reach every single part of the world. So what we have decided to do is we have launched our own online admissions test. This is a test that anybody who has a Wi-Fi connection and a camera is able to take directly from their homes. And that gives you flexibility because first of all, it's a 1-hour test. So should you be asked, should you not be able to obtain a waiver, and so should you need to take our admission test, you can do that very conveniently. It's a 1-hour test and you'll be able to take it from your own computer. It is free of charge, so there is no cost. We will arrange with you. Yes, because the GMAT test is quite, I think it's $250 or something like that. Yeah. So there is no cost. We will organize it for you. We will work with you to make sure that the time slot that you are assigned is convenient for you. And so should the admissions team say that you have to take a test, you can take conveniently the Cranfield admission test.
Okay.
So that is a great opportunity for anybody to be able to still not have any delays in joining the program.
Okay, just a follow-up question based on your explanation. So meaning that if Fadli is interested, as what he said, so he needs to launch the application first, right?
So he needs to apply first, absolutely, because then we will review the application. We will make sure that everything is in place, and that then we will invite Fadli to take the Cranfield admission test. And will be some emails, also because we interview every candidate to make sure that they are able to first they know what they're going to get from the program, that we understand what they are bringing to us, their expertise and knowledge, and how they're going to contribute to the classroom. So all of these things will be organized and have a precise timeline, but absolutely no delay.
Okay. Fadli, just to add on your question, since we are, besides of this today live session, so we're going to arranging a one-on-one with a Cranfield MBA admission manager, that will be happening tomorrow. So I suggest you to book and reserve on your appointment for tomorrow's slot, that's from 3 p.m. To 6 p.m. Jakarta time. Kindly do contact AECC further. We have our website, our emails, and WhatsApp number. I strongly encourage you to contact us further, so our team member could actually book your slot for tomorrow's session if you would like to get more insights and detailed thorough explanation for the entire process. I mean, not only about the GMAT side, but the entire process, like what Chris mentioned. There is a specific time frame that we need to actually get on time. So thank you so much, and I hope that is actually answering your question, Fadli. So before we move to a next question, Chris, I think I'll let you to continue your slide so we could get a whole insight furthermore.
Yeah, sure. So the one thing that everybody who's thinking about doing an MBA program always has to consider is the fact that you have some decisions to make when you choose your program. So at Cranfield, we offer a one-year program. There are other MBA programs that are longer. I will tell you why we have decided to offer a one-year program. For us, it's very important that, especially at a time like we find ourselves in now, that our students don't stay too long out of industry. So there are some financial also consideration, because the longer you are out of a job, the longer you are renting a room, the longer you spend, the time you spend supporting yourself as a student, the more money it takes. Secondly, from a practical point of view, as I said, we want to be able to deliver pretty much what you would get on a two-year program. We condensed it into 1 year, so the program is very intense, but then very quickly you are able to return into full employment. You will have to choose whether you want to do a program that is full-time or executive, and that's different considerations. I, for example, decided not to leave my job because I'm happy where I am, and I decided to study the program executive. Some people have the opportunity to study full-time, go to a different part of the world, like, for example, the UK, and that's a fantastic experience. Some of my students would call it a complete indulgence, because in that year, they just concentrate on their study and in developing their skills. And also another decision you have to make is whether you want to stay in one single campus or you want to travel around the world during the MBA. We offer a one single campus program because the actual location is very, very important and it adds to the overall experience. Our campus is very safe, and as Leigh will tell you later on, we are in a unique location, and we think that adds to the quality of the program. At the moment, as you can imagine, a lot of different programs are online or blended. What I can say to you is the plan is for us to deliver the program fully face-to-face next year. However, should that be, the pandemic should be affecting our ability to deliver a full face-to-face program, we overnight switched to delivering some of the classes online, and we have the flexibility to, according to where you are in the world and according to what the circumstances are, we deliver the program face-to-face, online or blended, according to what the government advises in order for us to deliver the program safely to all of our students. So regardless of what happens, you will be able to complete your program without delay. And that's really, really important.
Chris,
yes.
Sorry. interesting that you mentioned about the duration of the program. So we do actually have a prescript question that coming from our viewers, our students. So you mentioned about 1 year or 2 years program, and since Cranfield had actually the program itself is a entire 1 year program. So it is a couple of times you mentioned it is a rigorous and intense program. So we do have a question related on that 1 year program, because I'm pretty sure it will be, how to say this, sometimes for some people, since that will be very packed with the entire thing, subject, and then of course the project itself. So we do have a question coming from our student. The question is, because that would be related with a 1 year program, what is the culture, MBA MBA program at Cranfield University culture like? And is it more competitive or collaborative? And you said earlier as well, you are one of the alumni, right? So what is the insight, at least coming from your point of view? Because when we're talking about a duration of 1 year program, sometimes it's a bit scary for someone, because like the total duration will be very intense for the entire duration of the study. Can you elaborate on that?
Of course, and great question. First of all, as you can imagine, and a program of that intensity requires collaboration. Collaboration is very much the ethos at Cranfield. We see collaboration as a great opportunity to work with others and to learn from others. And in the world of business internationally, greater results are achieved when people collaborate. Just the other day, we saw the wonderful achievements of the probe that has landed on Mars. There were shots of the room, and we saw people from all over the world collaborating together in order to be able to send a probe into Mars. That is very much the philosophy of Cranfield. We work together. We support one another. So because of the fact the program is deliberately intense, it deliberately requires for you to collaborate with your colleagues, to get the support and support others. And also it gives you a fantastic opportunity by doing that to learn from the people that come from many different backgrounds, from many different industries, that offer unique insights to how they approach for example, a case study or a specific issue that we are discussing in a classroom. So because of that, collaboration at Cranfield is key and is very much part of the leadership development journey. Leadership means working with other people. Leadership is not working on your own. And as a good leader, your ability to inspire, learn, and lead others is vital at Cranfield. From my own insight, I have benefited humongously from my ability to learn from my learning team. So everybody at Cranfield will work in a learning team of about 5 to 6 people that you will work with throughout the program. That means people that come from different backgrounds, different functions, and different parts of the world that you will work with in delivering parts of the program. Some assignments, some case studies, and some simulations, because the program is very experiential and gives you the opportunity to simulate situations that otherwise you would have never experienced in your organization. One of them is the crisis management situation, when you are the CEO of a company that has experienced a problem and you have to deliver a presentation to the press. And there you work with your colleagues. You work with your colleagues and you learn from them in order to deliver some of the content. So my insight is I have benefited because I've learned as much from my colleagues that I have learned from members of faculty. I've been able to get their support whenever I missed something in a lecture or whenever I didn't understand something. There were another 5 people that I could call and say, I missed that bit. Can you please explain this to me? Or you come from a financial background. I come from a marketing background. Can you explain to me this further? And at times, instead, I was doing the opposite. My colleagues in finance, my colleagues in project management, some also come from the military, were asking me, Chris, this marketing question, I don't understand how I should answer this. Can you please share your knowledge with me? So that makes the experience much more exciting, much more fun. They would allow otherwise be. And even though it's a year, it goes so fast, but it's also very fun.
Okay, thank you so much, Chris, for the personal insight, I would say. So to conclude, meaning that the duration 1 year is not that scary, isn't it?
No, it's not, because you are supported by a team of people that want to see you succeed.
Okay, good to hear that. Okay, carry
your
on.
Success, because your success is their success. When you submit content as a team, if you do well and you contribute, they will also do well.
Okay, good to hear that. You can carry on to the next slide, please.
So then, but this is really important because it explains to you what are we looking for in the people that join us. As I've mentioned, the importance of leadership development is key to our school. So we want to see people that want to work with others, they want to learn from others, they want to support others. And therefore, they are committed to their own personal development, but also to helping others develop their own schools. They are emotionally mature. And for that, we mean is a lot of the time we give each other feedback because that is the way we are able to learn from one another. So you need to be able to be emotionally mature to receive feedback and also to give feedback in a way that helps others develop. We want people to be ambitious. We want you to succeed. We want to see that after you leave Cranfield, you're going to make a great contribution to the world. And therefore, we also want you to be one of the students that we remember many years after you have left, to leave a footprint not only at Cranfield, but also in your career and the life of your colleagues. In terms of admissions requirements, it is really important that you have 3 years postgraduate work experience. If you don't have a degree, and if you haven't gone to university, that's still fine. It is possible that you will be asked to have more years work experience because you didn't study full-time at university. As I mentioned, we offer an online Cranfield admission test. It gives you flexibility and is also free of charge. So when you submit your application, please mention that you'd like to take the Cranfield admission test instead of the GMAT, if that's what you want to do, and we will be able to organize that. And also, we need a balance score in the IELTS. Everybody that comes to Cranfield whose language is, their first language is not English, is asked to take an English test. I am from Italy, so I also took a test to demonstrate my ability to not only understand English, but to speak English and to be able to write it, because that's really vital and will allow you to do very well when it comes to submitting your assignments.
Okay,
Victor,
Chris,
do we have another question or video?
Yes. Yeah, we have a question. First,
Fantastic.
I think since you mentioned about the student profile, I think we have 3 different questions that related with that. Yep. I'm just gonna show it the first question. Hold on.
Yes, of course. Okay. And once again, a great question.
Yeah, so how diverse is the MBA student body? Since you mentioned, and earlier we talked about the 1 year duration, right? So how big, and you also, I think, you share a bit on the different nationality your team's coming from, and of course their background in terms of their industry coming from. And can you elaborate on students' nationality and how they collaborate?
Of course. So the program is 70% international students. So 70% come from outside Europe and the UK. 5% come from Europe and 25% come from the UK. The way the learning team are organized is we try to make sure that we balance them by putting people in the teams that come from many different functions, as many different industries, but also as many different nationalities. Because what we don't want is, and it's normal, you know, people from the same nationalities all becoming one team. And then if that happens, happened, it would limit their learning. The idea is to allow our candidates to understand how business is done in different parts of the world. Because as we know, business is determined, how a business operates is determined by the legal environment, by the economical environment, by the social environment, and practices also within that particular industry. So by allowing our candidates to work collaboratively with people from all over the world, they get unique insights on how, even sometimes if they come from the same industry, how things happen in other parts of the world and why our decisions make the way they are made. That obviously allows our students, when they return to industry, to be able to reach out and connect and work very effectively with people that may be in a different branch. You've just shown with your presentation, you guys have offices in different parts of the world. And it's really important to be able to work with people regardless of where they live, but at the same time, have an appreciation for the cultural differences. We celebrate the cultural differences of our students. We don't want everybody to be the same. We actually welcome the fact that they are different. One of these demonstrations is the fact that at Cranfield, we have an international week. So every student from different parts of the world meets in what we call a forum. And every week, they bring in food. They dressed in their local dress. They bring food from their nation and share with the other student things that we may not know about where they come from, which is invaluable. It's in fantastic learning. So once again, the spirit is of collaboration and learning from one another. So it is highly diverse, but it's diverse in a way that allows people, when they leave, to fully understand what it's like to work with people from a particular nation and what's important to them, what are their customs, how to be polite and respectful of different nationalities and different customs.
That would be important, right? When we are becoming a business leader, and either you're a business leader or you are entrepreneurs, especially when you want to branch out your office or your business out of your country of your origin.
Absolutely. It helps business and it helps you as a person.
Yeah.
And it helps you see also what people are doing in other parts of the world that you can learn from and bring in your own business. It is not just about respect, it's about learning. And as we've seen, as I mentioned, people learn and then they are more successful.
Yeah, I agree on that. Okay, moving on to the next question. I think this would be related with the entry requirements. From Defina, I have more than 8 years working experience, but only 2 years in managerial level. Am I eligible to apply to MBA? Because earlier your slide mentioning about, I think that it's a must of with a 3 years working experience, but it doesn't say that whether that is a managerial level or. Can you elaborate?
So no managerial level is required. We look at work experience. So with more than 8 years work experience, and 2 of which are managerial, is great. You are eligible. Please do speak to our colleagues, and then get their support, and then obviously apply to us. Okay.
We also have a next question before we move to your next slide. Okay. Does Cranfield MBA offer specialization like digital marketing or business analytics?
Yes. So we have different specialization based on the careers that our students want to have. So for example, one specialization is entrepreneurship for people that want to launch their own business. Another, for example, can be finance. So we have a set of modules in part 2, and I will cover some of the content of the program. In part 2, our students are able to select the modules that they want to complete. So if they want to, for example, to specialize in finance, they will select all of the finance elective modules. If they want to start their own business, they will select all of the entrepreneurship modules. We then have, for example, strategy, different strategy modules for people that want to have more strategic roles within organizations, or sales-oriented organizations. So not necessarily digital market, even though is explored during the program, but more around what is the strategy behind marketing, and in order to be able to be more successful at a higher level within the marketing function. Others look, for example, at more logistics, for example. So people that work in fast consumer goods will be looking at how they optimize that part of the organization. So people will want, for example, to work for Amazon or the big retailers will look at how to drive value from the supply chain and how to be more strategic. And we'll learn from many case studies of how many different organizations, how they've optimized that particular process, but not specialize in anything that is too specialist. For that, we have specialist MSCs program. The whole purpose of the MBA is to take you to the next level, to move from a particular specialism to running a large team of people or a strategic function within an organization. Business analytics, the business analytics modules are core within the MBA program. So even though you will not be specializing into a business analyst, you will have covered a number of modules that will allow you to do business analytics and understand how to do that effectively.
Okay. So you can carry on with your slide, Chris. I'm sorry to cutting up with the couple of questions coming from our
viewers. Please do stop me at any time. Please feel free to interrupt me. Lee as well, please feel free if you want to add any comment. I think the more interactive, the more fun it is. I've seen a message that says you cannot see my screen. Can you still see it, or do I need to share again?
I think you need to reshare your PowerPoint screen.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to stop it and share again. Do let me know if you can see it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So then your MBA program. This is what I was talking about just now. So the program starts with orientation week. This is a week designed for, and it's organized by the previous students, where they will meet with our new students and get them to bond, divide them into the teams, their learning teams, and give everybody an opportunity to meet one another. There will be tours of campus, tours of the library, hints and tips and anecdotes about different faculty and how to tackle the different modules. There'll be an introduction of the different competitions that we also run at Cranfield, because pre-pandemic, all of our students are taking part in many different competitions, being sporting competitions. We have our own regatta. We travel to Paris for a competition that's called MBAT, and we take part in sports and compete with other business schools, which is really good fun. So that's how the program starts. A week of bonding together, all of our students getting to know one another and be ready to start with the program. Then in terms 1 and 2 is the part where we start with all the compulsory modules. Those are modules that are designed to give you the general management knowledge and skills you require in order to progress your career, to become more strategic, and really to get a holistic view of what it means to run the business. How does marketing work? How does finance work? How do they work together? To understand what the executives in your organization, how do they see the world? What is the language that they speak in order for you to be able to communicate well with them? Another part of the program is the VCIC competition, which is venture capital investment competition. This is for our aspiring entrepreneurs. and they get an opportunity to work with existing entrepreneurs and investors to understand the process of launching a business and how to obtain funding. So core module part 1 and 2. One thing that's really, really important, as you can see, underneath you have the leadership modules. Now, Cranfield is world renowned for being a leader in the leadership development of our students. So our leadership development modules start from the very first day that you join Cranfield. The very first day, from when you also are completing your compulsory modules, you are seen as a leader. They take for granted the fact that you can understand economics, that you understand entrepreneurship, that you understand strategic marketing. The way you are assessed is if you were the director of marketing, if you were the operations director, what decisions would you make based on your learning from the classroom, from the theory, but also from your analysis of how other organizations are operating? So from the very beginning, your leadership development starts. At the same time, as you can see at the bottom, is the executive coaching and career development. From even before you join Cranfield, we will be starting with you and working with you and helping you to develop your CV, to develop your career plan, a mid-term career plan of what do you want to do post Cranfield. So what are the modules that you're going to have to study before you leave? What are the actions? Who do you need to contact? What does your CV need to look like? What kind of aspirations can you have? And then you will be helped and coached by the career development team in order to allow you and support you in your next move. One thing I need to mention is we have just launched a mentorship program for our MBA students. This only started a couple of weeks ago. And this gives you an opportunity to work one-to-one with one of our alumni or faculty who you will be meeting with them, and they will give you an opportunity to enlarge your network, to help you in your job search, to give you, to once again coach you for interviews, to talk about promotion, to talk about a specific industry sector or a company that you may be interested in joining following your MBA program.
Chris, hold that thought, because you mentioned about how the alumni is actually involved throughout the duration, of course, divided by each different term. So we also have a quite interesting question, because our students is actually asking. I'm just going to show you the question. You can.
I'm just going to return to the screen. Yep.
So because here, the students is actually, do students get opportunities to engage with the alumni or career network in this regards while in the MBA program? And what the question is, if so, yes, how? And I think you mentioned that earlier. Maybe you want to emphasize once again on the
Certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly. So there are many different ways for our students to engage with the career network and with our alumni. Throughout the program, the students will have an opportunity to attend, at the moment, what are webinars with our alumni that come from many different industries and share insights on how they got their dream job, the job they are currently doing, and how successful they have been in that particular industry, who they're working for. They share a little bit about how they've developed in their role, who they've networked with, and how to be successful. Sometimes they also share about how they develop their leadership skills throughout the program, and share books that they've read, many different hints and tips about their personal journey to the high level they are at now. So the first one is throughout the year, you'll have opportunities to connect with them directly via webinars and then ask them questions. 2, now we have this mentorship program. You will contact the careers development team and say, I would like to have a mentor. What are my options? And they will share with you the profile of mentors that are available that will be working with you on a one-to-one level. So that person will work with you one-to-one, which is a fantastic opportunity to be given an advisor free of charge that is able to answer your questions about your career development. Obviously, based on your career aspirations, they will be matched accordingly. So if you want to go in the world of finance, there will be somebody from the finance that comes from that world. The executive coaching and career development also starts actually before the MBA starts. You will receive an email from our careers team that says, send us your CV before you even join us, and join one of our webinars where we will look and start giving you tips on how to develop your CV, so that by the time you are ready to join Cranfield, we will be able to share your CV with prospective employers. Throughout the year, our careers team will organize different activities for our students, different workshops, and we will also run assessment centers at Cranfield. They are assessment days where you will have interviews, where you will have real assessments from organizations that you have to complete in order to, obviously, you will not get a job at the end of it, but it will be preparation for when you get to do it for real. We also host career events at Cranfield where different organizations, I mean, we've been doing them remotely, but different organizations come to Cranfield to recruit our students. And if you go on the Cranfield University YouTube channels, you'll be able to see videos that we have recorded with organizations that come to Cranfield to recruit you. And they all have different stands, and you get an opportunity to meet people from different organizations to start the process. And also, the moment you become a student, you get access to the alumni network. So you will be encouraged to reach out personally to any of our alumni to ask for advice and support. So throughout your year, and then following the MBA, you'll have multiple opportunities to engage both with the careers team and the alumni. But also faculty, because also faculty would be invaluable. Our faculty, something I forgot to mention, our faculty are continuing to work in industry for organizations around the world, and they specialize in particular industries. So faculty will also be meeting with our current students and giving them advice and share contacts to help them grow their network and support them in their career transition. I hope that answers the questions.
Yeah.
There's multiple ways, and they're already organized.
Okay. Carry on, Chris.
Okay. I think, did we have a last video following this slide? Once I finished the elective? Yes, I just wanted to check. So, and then in part 3 and 4, this is where you will select your electives. We've only put a handful on there because the list is quite long, and personally they didn't fit. Also, every year we review our elective modules to make sure that they reflect the topics and the subjects that are really important and are very current in that particular moment. But as I mentioned, you'd have an opportunity to specialize in different areas of the organization. When you want to be more strategic, look more at finance, start your own business, develop a sales organizations, all of those modules will be an opportunity for you to choose the ones that are most suitable for your career transition. Another thing that I haven't mentioned is that every year we do an international business assignment. Last year, as you can imagine, we had to deliver it online. But under normal circumstances, our students travel to different parts of the world to complete a consultancy project or learn how to do business in that particular part of the world. We have traveled to different parts of Africa, different parts of Asia, the Americas, and the idea is that you will choose either to do a consultancy project or to travel to a nation where you would like to learn what it's like to do business there. And and is an invaluable part of your learning, because that will increase your international experience. And to be honest, every time I speak to the students every year, they tell me it's a complete highlight of their MBA program, to travel to somewhere completely different, be immersed in a completely different culture, and understand what are the challenges that managers are facing in that region, and also discovering how they are bridging these challenges, how they're tackling challenges, and how they're innovating that particular industry in order to be more global and in order to be more successful. So that part's 3 and 4. You will continue then with your leadership modules that continue throughout the whole program. And then you will, this is where the career coaching will become even more intense, and the activities will be becoming even more intense, because before you leave Cranfield, we will expect that you will be starting with your recruitment interviews to make sure that by the time you leave Cranfield, you have be able to make the career transition that you wanted to make. Yes, I think at this point we can play the last video.
Cranfield University is actually celebrating its 70th anniversary this year. Cranfield School of Management, its 50th. The date of the foundation of Cranfield is not accidental. It was set up in 1946, at the end of the Second World War, at a time when the British economy needed to rebalance and to bring people who had had military experience back into the workplace to prepare for a peacetime economy. Cranfield was part of the British government's answer to that. So as a university, our mission and indeed our mantra has always been a little bit different from traditional universities. We were set up to engage, and that is what we have done for 70 years. And what makes us different is that the university is 100% postgraduate. One of the very, very few universities in the world for which that is true, which means we don't have any bachelor's students whatsoever. So that means we reach a smaller, perhaps more specialized audience than the majority of universities.
Cranfield MBA is really the best place for someone like me with a lot of years of experience, exposed to the business world, exposed to the corporate world. I didn't want just theory, I wanted the practical aspects of running a business, the practical aspects of working in a corporate. Also the international view, like having a view of the whole world, but in a class, and I found that in Cranfield.
One of the things I like to emphasize about Cranfield is that we call ourselves a school of management, not a school of business. And for me there is a difference, because management is fundamentally about people. And to be a good leader, you have to know how to work with people. So an enormous amount of time and effort on our program is spent helping you understand and manage yourself as the first stage in that process, in order to be able to work creatively and constructively with others in your team, and for you then to be able to take some of that learning into an organizational perspective. So we see there is a continuum from personal to professional to organizational development.
As a result of the MBA program, I am a lot more self-aware. There were lots of things that I used to do in a particular way. I really didn't know why I was doing it that way, but now I found out that it's who I am. And here I learned not to try to be somebody else, but to celebrate who I am and make the best of who I am.
So another reason why I chose Cranfield to do my MBA is the class profile. The average age of the Cranfield MBA student is 32. So when we arrive here, we are already managers, or we have some kind of managerial experience. And that brings the conversation in the lecture room up to another level. You can share with your colleagues their real life experiences, the insights from the industry. So this is the point that you start learning from your colleagues as much, if not more, than from your faculty.
So the true value of this MBA for me was that it helped me compartmentalize the knowledge I already had and put it into frameworks. For instance, we're doing a project for international strategy in Zambia for a Zambian company, and going back I would be using knowledge I gained here from marketing, from operations from general strategy and implement it on the projects. So in essence, it helped me muster all the knowledge I had, put it into frameworks, and be able to utilize it in the future.
Being a great technician is going to take you up to here. But if you really want to have that wow factor, if you really want to stand out from the crowd, it's in the development of your soft skills. So I would say that the Cranfield MBA is for people who are looking to leave a footprint, who are looking to be the leaders of the world in terms of the drivers of change.
There are, for me, 3 aspects to doing an MBA. A lot of schools focus on the knowledge part. I like to say there's a holy trinity of knowing, doing, and being. Who you are and how you do things is as important as the knowledge that you actually have. And this converts itself into the way that we approach social responsibility in its broadest sense. Because unless you look at yourself as an individual, unless you understand what your values are and test those with others around you, how can you go out and responsibly manage large organizations? So again, it is this consistency that we look for between the individual that you are and the leader that you want to become.
Okay, interesting video. So we can actually now want to move to a next question. This will be related with the, I suppose, with the application process and entry requirement. So there's a question coming from our viewers. I saw at Cranfield website for MBA, there are 3 application deadline. Is there an application quota for MBA program at Cranfield? Over to you, Chris and Lee.
There is no quota. Absolutely not.
Okay.
The deadlines are designed to allow the admissions team to respond very, very quickly and to process large number of applications in a way that is organized, and it gives the applicant an understanding of when will I receive an answer for this? When will I be moving to the interview or a test stage? When will I then receive a final confirmation of my offer? So we've organized this in a way that supports the applicant and also allows our admissions team to be as quick and as precise as possible, which then allows us a little bit more flexibility to allow people that want to take the Cranfield admission test to have more options on when they can take the admission test or when they can be interviewed.
Okay.
But no quota.
All right. So good to hear that. We also have another question coming from our viewers. This is related with the GPA, but I will allow you to answer that. I have a 7 years working experience, but my bachelor GPA only 2.5. Is there any way to do MBA at Cranfield, like pre-masters or for example? So over to you.
Okay. When we assess a candidate, we look at everything. We look at the fact, yes, they have a degree, but what else have they done? And we would not turn somebody down because necessarily of a 2.5 GPA. Because what you have done following your degree, following your university is just as important. What you are bringing to the classroom, your maturity, as I talked about earlier, your emotional maturity, your motivations, your ability to connect with others, your ability to articulate your thoughts and have a vision for how you want to develop yourself in the future, your passion for the Cranfield MBA, and your passion for the year of learning that is to become ahead of you, they are just as important. So that should not deter anybody from applying. As long as you have done well in your test, as long as you have interviewed well, as long as you have your good 3 years postgraduate work experience, we will take all of those things into consideration.
Okay. Just go back to the application deadline as earlier mentioned from our viewers. Out of curiosity, I mean, what is the turnaround time when someone is actually applying and they went through the interview process, and say, for example, if he or she, they don't have any GMAT, only IELTS 7.0. So what is the turnaround time in the process of from application all the way to the entire screening from Cranfield internal admission?
As what I have witnessed myself when I applied for the program, the turnaround is actually very quick. From the moment students submit an application, whilst we commit, I think is a 2-week period that we commit. Generally, within a couple of days, people will receive an immediate response that says, we have your application, we are processing the application. Have you sent us this information? Are you planning to take the test? And then after a few days, they will already start receiving communications on, yes, we would like to invite you for interview. We would like to then, then the communication starts back and forth on which day, which time is convenient. As far as I've seen last time, candidates are given access to a portal and are able to choose their own time slots and book their own interviews. And then as soon as they do that, they will receive a confirmation that the booking has been made and being given any other information they need in order to prepare for the interview or the test and everything else. But it's generally very, very quick. The quickest I have seen from somebody starting from beginning to end was, I think, just over 2 weeks. It depends, obviously, on how quickly the candidate also supplies the information, how quickly they supply the transcripts, how quickly they supply the recommendations from the previous employer or member of faculty from their, for example, from their degree. So we work together with the candidate. The quicker the candidate is in providing the information, the quicker we can be in processing.
Okay.
So it is flexible. We try to flex to the requirements also of the candidates. And if the candidate has specific requirements, for example, as we saw earlier, somebody who's been sponsored by the organization, they might have some very specific timeline that they want to adhere to. We will do our very best to make sure that we satisfy their own timeline as well.
Okay. Okay, so for the benefit of the times, so I'm encouraging you to actually moving on to your next slide.
Yes, of course. And do let me know if you can still see it.
Yes.
So I just wanted to give a quick summary and really touch something that is really important. We get a lot of questions about, which is scholarships. So the whole program cost is £39,000. There are many scholarships that are available, and these are already on our web pages. We have scholarships that are specific to a particular region of the world, but we have many scholarships that are available to all nationalities and all industries as well. One of them is, for example, the professional distinction, the exceptional student. This is for people that would have done very, very well in their education before Cranfield. We then have scholarships that are designed for people that want to start their own business. There are, for example, the Leo Murray Scholarship, which is sponsored by one of our alumni. Then we have the Jacqueline Jackson, for example, other scholarships that are MBA funded. We very much support diversity, as you've heard times and times again. So we also have diversity scholarships for people that come from very, very rare industries or very particular backgrounds. Please speak to us because there's opportunities for us to obtain a scholarship. We also have scholarship for leadership potential, and we have a number of scholarships for women as well, women in technology, or just women that have specific history or leadership potential. We also work with Prodigy, and there's two different types of loan opportunities for our students. They offer preferential rates to MBA students and have very convenient repayment terms. So please visit our pages or ask for advice from the agent to find out what it means. So don't be deterred by the £39,000. If you do well in your tests, in your interviews, or satisfy any of these criteria, it is very likely you will obtain a scholarship. I've talked about core modules and electives, As you have seen also from the video, the international business assignment, the opportunity to travel to a different part of the world and put your skills to the test in a new environment. I talked about MBAT, which is when we travel to Paris to compete against other business schools, the venture capital investment competitions, how to launch your business and find finance. We also have a startup weekend, the opportunity to attend a startup weekend course for free. And that's for people who want to start their own business. And we also travel to the south of the UK to take part in a regatta where we are sailing yachts competing against other business schools, which is also really fun and exciting. You also have an opportunity to take an independent project. This is when you come to us and say, I want to do a project in this particular organization or for this particular industry, and you work with our members of faculty in order to deliver a module that allows you to complete a consultancy project, whether you have sourced it directly or with our alumni or our careers team. You're able to do something that will then obviously support your career development even further. Just very quickly, the application process. Obviously, apply via AECC. Global, please work with our colleagues and make sure that you submit your application and receive all of the support and advice that you need. After you submit the application, we will review what you have submitted in our admissions board. After we do that, you will receive confirmation of whether you have been invited for interview. After you have received your invitation to do the interview, we'll also send you an invitation if you want to take the admissions test, unless we've been able to waiver the GMAT completely, or you might already have a GMAT. Once we have everything, you've submitted all your evidence and your recommendations, we will once again go to the admission board, review everything, and then you will receive a confirmation from us whether we are able to make you an offer. We expect you will have an opportunity to accept your offer. You have a month to make sure that you accept your offer, and then we will expect for you to pay a deposit to secure your place on the Cranfield MBA after a month. So you have, from the offer to deposit, you have 2 months to decide and then to confirm your place. And over to Lee, who's going to talk to you a little bit about where Cranfield is based. Over to you, Lee.
Hi. Okay, the location of Cranfield is north of London. All right. So from London, if you can see London, you take a train to Milton Keynes. That is 35 minutes. From Milton Keynes, you will take a bus. It's called Uno bus to Cranfield. That will take you 30 minutes. So what you need to do is you just Google Uno bus, U-N-O bus. All right, Uno bus. Then you can get the timetable. All right. So from London, if you want to Google from London which train station it is Euston, E-U-S-T-O-N, Euston Station. All right, and Euston Station is just 3 stations away from London Chinatown, and another 2 stations away from Oxford Street. So this is a location.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you so much.
Before we move to the next slide, I think you have do you have a last 2 slides, isn't it, Chris?
I have no more slides after this, just our contact details for anybody who wants to contact us directly, but obviously they will be probably coming directly from you.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a 2 final questions, Chris and Lee. So we have another question coming from Fadli, the one that actually earlier asked and getting a scholarship from the company that he works for. So this is related with IELTS. What about IELTS score? Does the overall score of 6.5 meet the minimum score, which I think earlier in your presentation you said 7.0, which is that's overall score. But however, the question is, if not, is there any kind of a pre-sessional English language course available before the program starts?
Lee, I think you probably have more information about the pre-sessional English than I do.
Yes. For if you get 6.5, you'll be able to join the 5 weeks course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll be able to do a pre-sessional before you join us. Yes.
Okay. So just to be clear, meaning that with 6.5 and Fadli need to lodge the application, and once he got the offer, only then he joined the pre-sessional English class before the actual MBA class started, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. That's correct.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Fadli, I believe you, as you mentioned, you already booked a reservation for tomorrow at 3:30. Looking forward to meet you in person and do ask more questions tomorrow to Helen, which is our Cranfield admission manager. So she will be able to give you more thorough details, especially related with the entry requirements, the entire application process. So, Chris, we have two final questions.
Great.
But the first question that coming from our students, I think you mentioned a couple of times about the opportunities to have this what we call it a recruitment upon the graduation. But I think it will be best for the benefit of our viewers when we mention about the recruitment process. Maybe you can elaborate just a bit once again on that particular event, what we call it. Is that a one-year event, or is it, because it says that you have it, I think 4 different timeline of duration of the study, right? I think 4 term. So each term, is there a recruitment process available each terms, or how does it work?
The recruitment process starts even before the students join us. Then the recruitment process lasts throughout the whole time. So throughout the year, we will organize multiple career fairs, multiple career events for our students to meet with organizations, to meet with alumni, to engage with potentially sourcing projects. As I mentioned, there is an opportunity for somebody to do a special project as part of one of their electives. This lasts throughout the year. The contact with the careers team, the preparation lasts throughout the year, and there is a full timetable of events that our students are sent and are asked to take part throughout the year. There are also some that are added. There's also, as I mentioned, the speaker series for our alumni who could also become employers. And always a great opportunity to network with them. And there's also now the mentorship program that will last throughout the year. So multiple events. For those that have Instagram, you'll be able to find the Cranfield School, the Cranfield Careers. Do follow them, because you'll be able to see firsthand the type of activities they are organizing throughout the year. So the recruitment process, the way we see it, is not something that starts at the end of the MBA or towards the end of the MBA. That's too late. The process, because also that informs the electives that our students choose and the type of person they will choose as their mentor, the type of activities, extracurricular activities they will take part in whilst they are a student. So there is a whole timetable of engagement with industry, engagement with recruiters, engagement with faculty and coaches, as well as mentors.
Okay, interesting and good to know
and
that.
Workshops how to secure a promotion, how to write your CV, how to do well your interview, how to navigate the testing centers. All of these take place throughout the year.
Okay.
Special sector knowledge, or also some very specific country and sector knowledge for people that have very specific about where they want to go.
Okay. All right. Interesting to know that. So we have before we close our today session of webinar, so we have a final question, which this is always coming from our students, because I believe that before you start any program, it's not only MBA or any other master's program or any kind of program. Students will always comparing one to another, I'm pretty sure. Yep. And I think in benefit of that particular program, when we're talking about MBA program, so we have a question. Why students need to choose Cranfield, comparing it with the same Triple Crown accreditation? Especially if you could share your insights, since you're the alumni of Cranfield.
Absolutely.
So that could be something that, how to say, is an elevator pitch coming from Cranfield, and it is a real proof. Alumni is actually talking about the benefit of the program itself. Over to you, Chris.
Absolutely. Why they should choose Cranfield? Why I chose Cranfield? I chose Cranfield because I didn't want to just know the theory of business, as my colleague said earlier in the video. I want to know how I can be a better leader. I want to have the knowledge and the skills to make a difference, to innovate, to change, to see that I can make a contribution to my organizations and also work with others. I have learned so much from the people that I have studied with and I had the privilege to meet. Cranfield brings an experienced cohort of international students from all around the world of the highest caliber. We have industry practitioners and industry experts as our faculty. They share with us the knowledge they have gained from working in industry, from being consultants in industry. And that's what's made them industry experts. And they have worked all around the world. I want to have a global view of the world, not just a view of what's happening in Europe. So we are fully postgraduate. Our faculty only teach at the very highest level. So that's really, really important to us. And that's how we've obtained continuously being reaccredited time and time again. It's a wonderful, safe environment. It's a very friendly, very green, safe environment to study in, and it's very supportive. Our ratio for faculty to student, I think, is 8:1. So there's a lot of faculty that are very open to read, to be able for us to speak to them, to get their support. Our alumni, as you can see by this mentorship program, are very engaged and very ready to help us. We have a saying at Cranfield that wherever you are in the world, you should never have lunch or dinner on your own. Why do we say that? Because I know that when I've had the pleasure to travel all around the world to recruit students, whenever I landed somewhere, I found on the network somebody was in the same city. I contact them to tell them, I'm here today. Will you come and join me for dinner? And every time I had someone to have dinner with, who showed me around, who told me what was going on in their business. And also they fondly spoke about Cranfield. They wanted to know what that particular member of faculty was doing and share their wonderful memories. That is enough for me to say I've made the right decision. From the point of view of, I've chosen Cranfield multiple times because I've already completed 3 programs at Cranfield. The skills, essentially, not only the network of wonderful advisors I have now, but the skills I have learned, the personal transition I have made to be a more confident, even a more confident speaker, a more confident person within my team, to have a much broader view of what we do and why it's important. That has been invaluable to my own career progression and to be able to enjoy what I do and to bring my very best, as we saw once again from the video, to learn who I am, to learn to celebrate what I bring to my team, to my organization, and also to the people that I recruit, and to celebrate that and to find that spark in others, to find their own unique talents and what they will bring to Cranfield. It's invaluable. And to be honest, I feel very privileged to have had that opportunity.
Thank you so much, Chris, for sharing your personal experience on it. I'm pretty sure our viewers now, they're smiling back at you because they know that, okay, now they actually now becoming, okay, I'm quite sure that I need to starting my application and choose Cranfield instead of other Triple Crown accreditation university. So, okay, it's been an interesting discussion for almost 1.5 hours now, Chris and Lei. So to conclude our session today, so just to give an insight for our viewers today. So thank you so much for the question, but please be informed that we do have a one-on-one session with Cranfield University MBA admission manager. It is a reservation slot that is actually available, but it is only from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Jakarta time. So we strongly encourage you, if you want to have a more question related with the admission process, and then the entire application process, and even on the scholarship side. So please do book your slot with AACC Global. Can we have the our information of AACC, Alphon? Hold on, Alphon. Yeah, so please do contact our WhatsApp and do connect with our website. And also there is this EduFair website, but specifically for tomorrow's session with Cranfield University Admission Manager, MBA Admission Manager, kindly do WhatsApp us to book your slot for the meeting one-on-one. So once again, Chris and Lei, thank you so much for the interesting point of view and sharing from your personal experience, especially to you, Chris. And looking forward to see you soon once again. And
thank you for the opportunity. It's been fantastic working with you. So thank you for the opportunity to reach out to your audience and wonderful candidates.
Yeah, a pleasure is ours. So thank you so much to our viewers who've been with us for almost 1.5 hours. So stay safe, everyone, and see you soon in different event of AACC Global Indonesia. Take care. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Lei.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.